in schools here at Jazz House KiDS. Tonight we're going to feature many of our talented students that we work with in the classrooms of 6 of our Denver public schools, 1 from Dr. Adams in Jersey City, and Elizabeth High School in Elizabeth, New Jersey. So get ready to be inspired and impressed. Our students who are so hard this semester and move the needle forward in their musicianship and learn how to become a cohesive part of an ensemble supporting their bandmates. A shout out to our incredible school music directors and jazz house teaching artists who work with our students each and every day in the classroom together, all working musicians. We also will feature performances from our talented faculty all-stars. You're going to get to hear all of our special guests and renowned trumpet player, Bria Stonberg, who will be performing throughout the evening with our ensembles. Thanks to all of your friends and family who couldn't be here today in person to watch the live stream on our Jazz House YouTube channel. You can go to youtube.com/@jazzhousekids and head to the live section on our homepage. We have surveys for all the parents that are here. We have surveys in the back of the program list, and we want to hear from you. As parents and caregivers of our students, we want you to know that we value your opinion about children's experiences in the Jazz House Music College program at your school. If your cell phone is in handy, you can find the survey by scanning the QR code on the back of the program book, or we also have hard copies and pencils at check. The first band that we have, before I do that, I want to also thank Science Park High School and the principal of Science Park High School, Mrs. Garrett Hart, who couldn't be here today. Shout out to you and to your staff for helping put this together. We really thank you for hosting us here today. We also want to thank the district. We're grateful for the support of the Newark Public Schools and the superintendent, Roger Leone, who couldn't be with us today. Thank you. We also want to thank our funders. We thank our funders who support our mission, driving student success through initiatives like the Jazz House Music College program that you're witnessing today, for the school and for the past 22 years. We also want to thank Genesis. We thank Genesis Foundation for honoring Jazz House KiDS with the 2025 Inspiration Award. Genesis Inspiration Foundation supports youth art programs across the country to help improve access and promote creativity, particularly in under-resourced communities. The foundation has awarded $3 million in grants to 83 youth art organizations in 2025, bringing the foundation's lifetime total giving to over $13 million. We are also grateful for Genesis, which was in the Jazz House KiDS 2025 beneficiary. Attending today, we also want to acknowledge Janet Shapiro and Phil Bird. We want to say a special hello to Janet, who's on stage. Thank you for joining us. Who, along with her husband, Phil Bird, underwrite the Given Instrument Build Musician program, putting instruments in the hands of students who need them, equipping them with the tools needed to discover and develop their musical talents. We have 1,300 instruments and counting that Genesis given to our program. So let's give it up for Janet Shapiro. The Jazz House Music College supporters are Janet Shapiro, Filbert, the Kenneth Goldman Donor Fund, Cheryl Fund, Victoria, and Victoria Fund. The signatures for our mission provided by Appaloosa Management Charitable Foundation, the Rose Valley Foundation, Paul Courtney and Stephen Stagman, Entertainment Cruise Productions, Gina and Young Prima Foundation, Susan and Chris Gifford, Jane and Hans, JT, Megan and Company, Cobb Family Foundation, and many others, as well as the New Jersey State Council of Youth. We thank you for your support. So, without further ado, I will introduce the John Kennedy School under the direction of Yeah, so while we transition with our next number, I'm just going to ask, I'm just going to talk to Greg about your career for a little bit. So, what was your first big performance, and how do you usually prepare for a big performance or sport?
My first one? Well, much like the students, I started out of pocket with a great public school band program. Can I round of applause for all school leaders? I was also lucky to have parents that supported me. I started playing piano when I was 8, and then I tried violin for a year. I was sitting privately when I was terrible, but I started doing trumpet because my dad played trumpet back in high school, and we owned one.
Una foto en grupo, si quieres.
Jazz House Kids has a proud history of early roots in the city of New York. We had our first program with New York Public School students in 2002. The same year, we were incorporated as a non-profit organization. The early days of Let's Build the Jazz House music in the 70s, and today under the Jazz House Music Scholarship Program. We conducted advanced master classes and met our teaching artists, year-long jazz residency program, alongside school music teachers every school day. It is especially gratifying to know that many of our younger students we have worked with over the years tell us that their music training helped them immensely. That's including myself, as I attended New York High School, who's also here today. A lot of our alumni tell us that it gave them a creative outlet and structure and critical skills which empower them inside and outside of the classroom. Many continue to play their instrument long after graduating, some even becoming professional musicians. Now, in our 22nd year, we continue to transform the lives using the power and legacy of jazz through world-class education and performances that create avenues of access, learning, career development, and community building. It's a time of growth for the Jazz House, even in these uncertain times of our support. The arts organizations and students have received more than 150 awards and honors for excellence in jazz and jazz education. In addition to our work in the schools and robust classes and ensemble programs at the headquarters in Montclair, we serve students from all 5 New York City boroughs through a satellite location and collaboration with Trinity Church in New York City. And without further ado, I present to you Lake Community Charter School under the direction of Leah Hinton.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are so excited. Test 1, 2, can you hear me?
Yes.
Test 1, 2, can you hear me?
gearing up for the Montclair Jazz Festival, which means this summer is the return of the Montclair Jazz Fest Soundcheck Series, which is a collaboration with the well-known theater and the New Jersey Hall of Fame. Join us on Sunday, June 1st for the Montclair Jazz Festival kickoff concert, Swinging on the Plaza, and our official close of our seniors that day as well. It will start at 12 p.m. On June 12th, July 30th, and August 20th, the Montclair Jazz Festival Soundcheck Series performance will also be running. We'll be showcasing our students all this summer and an all-star lineup of headliners, which will be going on this summer as well. On Saturday, September 13th, is our Downtown Jamboree and Wild Party with DJ Brother Mr. We also want to invite you guys to that. Mark your calendar. Last year we had about 26,000 people attend the program. I want you all to take your phones out right now and please follow the Montclair Jazz Festival on social media for any updates, and please stay tuned later this month for our announcement, for the announcement of our new membership. The two memberships are the Friends of the Jazz House, or you can upgrade to the VVIP Take 5 Club. This summer we also have our Jazz House Kids Summer Workshop, which will be at Montclair State University. All of your students and are welcome to join this program. We will be visiting a lot of their high schools toward the end of this month, doing in-person auditions. So see your band directors for any more information. Many of the school music scholar students here today are also enrolled in our year-long classes, so we encourage all of you to check out our summer program in Montclair to continue the great progress you're making on your students. The Jazz House Summer Workshop is going to be running from August 4th to the 16th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. This is an award-winning 2-week intensive on the campus of Montclair State University. The ages allowed to participate in this program are from 12 to 18, and it's attended by students from all around the world. This year, the director of the Jazz House Summer Workshop is Pearson Chatterjee. The artistic director is Christian McBride, and we'll have top-notch faculty and professional musicians joining us as well. Some of the highlights of the summer workshop include performances at Dizzy's Club, Jazz at Lincoln Center, and guest artists and master classes, as well as the Cheetah Power program. We will also be having housing available for all of you, and a final summer performance in downtown Montclair. For more information, visit jazzhousekids.org. We also have summer sessions this year. So in addition to the summer workshop, which is at Montclair State University, we have summer sessions from June 9th through July 15th. So we're planning to do some smaller classes focusing on specific iconic composers or electives to help you guys learn more about your instruments, as well as other instruments you might be interested in. So if you're interested in attending, let our welcome desk in the front let you know about the things that we'll be doing this summer and give you more information about how to register. I want to mention this one more time, but if you have a program book, in the back of the program book we have surveys. So please don't read those surveys. This helps us make sure that we continue to give these students the best education possible. We have questions about how your students are doing throughout the school year, how impactful our programs are in their lives, and if you're interested in participating in our programs. And without further ado, I want to introduce you all to Oliver Street School under the direction of Ron Hutter and teaching artist Ellie Leonard.
Good evening. How's everyone feeling tonight? This is Oliver Street School, our little jazz combo here, and we're going to do a couple songs that you've heard perform so far tonight. So amazing how jazz can have such variety of singing songs as well. So in our first song, we're going to do Song for Our Father, and we're going to have lyrics by Leon Thomas to help us here sing Song for Our Father. And we're going to feature on big piano back here, Mr. Anthony Nelson, and Mr. Elliot Bernard, I believe. Here he is. He's going to join us as well on that song. So I hope you guys enjoy Song for My Father.
everybody. Here, so we got Stella and Summer on vocals. And Sophia. Taylor on guitar. Abigail on bass. And James on and it's been a lot of fun working with these young musicians, and I'm very fortunate to dress us to have that opportunity. And it's been really fun to learn and grow. And this next tune is going to be a little homage to Johnson. This is CJ Blues, we've heard before tonight, but a little weird that I wrote this wrote, song with Stella, and they call this one Lovely Blues. So enjoy. Thanks. And we're going to feature this song around space as well. It's going to round it off.
Thank
Yeah, thank you all, the street school. Up next, we have a big band, a full big band under the direction of Meredith Foreman. And I want to give Jen Shapiro another shout out because she made this program possible through the funding of the Jazz Bus Initiative, which is helping us bring students to classes in Montclair, New Jersey. So without further ado, I want to invite you guys to come on stage. Elizabeth High School under the direction of Meredith Foreman. So while we wait for them to set up, I want to ask you a couple of questions. To start, I kind of want to know what first inspired you to start playing the trumpet and singing jazz?
What inspired me to start playing the trumpet? Well, I guess it's before my dad played it back in high school, so we got it. I'm the youngest of 3 kids, and by the time it came time for one of us to pick an instrument, trumpet was the last one. So I did. Actually, I didn't play trombone. When I first tried instruments, I don't know if I just had a lot of air or long arms, but I was told to play trombone. My dad said, "Stop, you want to play the melody." And I tried a lot of times to decide to the trumpet to play the melody. And that's when I got lessons to me. And so I love the combos, I love the melody, I love the mutes, I love the different sounds, I love the very dynamic, so that you can scream, or you can just scream, you know, all sorts of incredible interests. Fits in the most airline overhead space is pretty complicated. I would be number 6, and it's not hard. And those are some of the reasons why you do the trumpet. And if you can play, I think even the trumpet section of the big band is kind of one of the best things in the world, am I right? It's so fun, it's so fun. And it doesn't happen enough when you get to
And so I started reaching out to Van Ford and to a couple other people around that I knew of at the time who could help us with getting instruments in the program and help the students to close the gap faster with learning about improvisation and just being more involved in the jazz community. And Jazz House came through big time. Ms. Janet helped to get us some new instruments in the school. And they came through and they also provided a couple of clinics for us. And they invited us to their summer camps and to their classes during the school year, which was a big thing with Jazz House thing, which allowed the students on the stage are involved, and as well as some of our intermediate students who are not on the stage currently. So we would like to thank you guys for just being there for us and being there for the community that you guys are working with. All places in New Jersey, New York, schools. Thank you so much. And so far, thank you. So our last speaker, inviting the students over to the stage. And it's one of the eligible students. It's called Art History. And it's going to feature a bunch of different soloists in the band. Let's see, raise your hands. So we're going to have Michaela Colas on trombone first. Who has been a part of the Jazz House community for like 3 years now, right? About 2.5 years. And she's a senior this year. We're going to also hear from John Carlo, our senior on the trumpet, who's also been a part of the Jazz House community for a few years as well. He's also a senior. And let's see, I'm forgetting. I'm going to hear from Danny Wilmore, who's also now a part of the Jazz House community. This is the second time, or second performance on the solo. He's going to perform as well. It's usually Jeff or guitarist, but Jeff was a senior, and Jeff was asked to do the solo, so Jeff was pleased enough to do that for him. Jeff has another year to go. So I'll let you know when it's time to play. All right. Oh, wait. Oh, and there again. We have more solos, drums. We can bring it up. And we also listen for the band.
Take those pawns off. Say,
Yeah, let's give it up for Elizabeth High School one more time. And up next, we have Eastside High School, under the direction of Mr. Thaddeus Extrovay and teaching artist Alex outside. So I just want to make another quick announcement about everything we're doing this summer. Like I mentioned before, we have summer classes. So I want to make sure that you're all aware that registration is currently open right now for the Jazz House Summer Workshop. Like I mentioned before, a lot of our high school students also participate in year-long classes with us in Montclair. So we encourage all of you to check out our summer programming in Montclair, New Jersey. The summer workshop is going to be running from August 4th through the 16th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. This is Monday through Friday with performances on Saturdays, on the first Saturday and on Monday of the second week. This is an award-winning 2-week intensive camp on the campus of Montclair State University, and it's open to all students ages 12 and 18. A lot of the students that joined us during the summer workshop are students from different countries. We had students from Mexico, I believe England, Latvia at one point, Peru, and we have, I think it's about 25 students total that are going to be coming internationally. And the summer workshop is directed by Youth Strategy and Artistic Director Christian McBride, and where we also hire top faculty to come on with you. Some of the highlighted performances that we do during the summer is business club performances, Jazz at Lincoln Center, and we have guest artists every single day for a 1 hour, I think it's an hour and a half symposium. This also includes a Cheating Power program, and we have housing available for students that want to stay on campus. For the final performance on the workshop, we have all of our students perform in downtown, in downtown Montclair, and also at Montclair State University's Castle Theater. I want to encourage all of you guys to apply, and without further ado, this is Eastside High School under the direction of Thaddeus Extrovay and teaching artist Alex. Thank you.
calm down. Guys, whoa, it's just.
These are the students, the young lions from Eastside High School. You know what I just discovered? Well, I think along with that. Raise your hand if you know Sarah Bond, if you heard it. Well, I've been doing this Sarah Bond, okay, you know, probably and she was the Eagle on Avenue. And this is what I did not know that I just discovered. She went to the school where I teach Eastside, and then transferred to Park High. So there's a recording, got the name of it, it's a recording that she did. I can't remember the name of it, but I just discovered that in the radio. So, anyway, we have to take it with Elliot Bernard from Jazz House KiDS. Jordan Zarvis from Alto Sax. Jeffrey Torriello on trombone. Fernando Brown on trumpet. Alex from Jazz House KiDS singing with us. And now, before the program, we come over every morning and just finish our program with Jazz House KiDS. Thank you, Jazz House KiDS. On Congress, we have Jose, Lucia, and on drums, still there, we have Samuel B. Morales. My name is Stanley Bexley. We're going to take a couple more selections for you, and thank you for sending.
It's going to be our last student for the East Side.
Yeah, let's go up for Eastside High School. As we have Paulina Edwards School joining us from Jersey City under the direction of Mr. Rico Jones. Good evening, everybody. All right. We are very excited to be here. I'm very proud of these students that you see before you. We're a small but mighty band, and all the students you see here attend Dr. Lee Edwards Academic Charter School. What's amazing about this ensemble is that it's comprised of fifth graders and sixth graders. Each and every one of them started out just at the beginning of the school year. So they've grown dramatically. We're very proud of all the hard work and effort they put in. And without further ado, we're going to perform three selections for you. The first of which is a rhythm changes in B flat called Let's Go Sing, followed by a minor blues in G minor, Spider-Man theme song, and we're going to wrap it up with another rhythm changes entitled Straight Ahead.
Sing. Okay. Well, that's feature Javier on the drums. Give it up for Javier. On the clarinet, give it up for Edwin. Give it up for Edwin. Rollins on the trombone. Yes. Okay, we're going to carry on with a personal band favorite. This is our rendition of Spider-Man theme songs.